When you place an air scrubber on an elevated platform, just keep in mind that the construction you use is sufficient stiff and resistant to wind and storms. Also, the platform you will use has to have a closed floor underneath the module and not just beams or other constructions. And also keep in mind that when working on a level, it's always need extra attention because of safety. Summarizing the pressure chamber, we can see here on the top of the picture, there should be always a minimum of 3 meters distance between the fan and the air intake. The area has to have at least 1 meter of coating applied underneath the air intake. The floor of the pressure chamber has an acid-resistant coating as well, and 1 meter against the wall. Other construction requirements is for the acid and alkaline storage room. As Ron already explained, the air scrubbers need acid or alkaline, depending on if you have a chemical scrubber or a biological scrubber. Most companies use big tanks of acid or alkaline, so your door opening should be at least 2.4 meters wide and 2.2 meters high. The acid pumps and safety materials and emergency showers should always be accessible in case of emergency. The room itself, so your storage room, should be big enough to house all these materials. Keep in mind that the piping of the acid and alkaline is not more than 50 meters away from the injection point. This injection point is part of the skid, as Ron earlier explained. I put some 3D modules in here. On the left, we see a nice organized acid and alkaline storage room where the emergency shower is free accessible. Your safety equipment is nicely stored into a box. Your emergency shower is free accessible. The pumps are hanging on the wall, but not above the tanks. So when you place your suction pipe into your acid or alkaline tank, you can do this without hanging over the tanks. So the pumps are free accessible. And here on the right, we can see a picture when the piping is along the tanks. There's not a lot of space in between the tanks and the pumps. So you always have to hang over the tanks to put in your suction lines.